And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the first half of March 2024. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, or on this early March edition of ACAP Today, we're going to speak about the Earn While You Learn program that's part of ACAP's workforce development offerings and part of our coaching establishment here at ACAP. We're going to talk with two individuals who are working on that program here in just a little bit. But before we do that, as we do at each point in the broadcast at the very beginning, we're first going to get to the news and information that you can use again for the first half of March 2024. And we begin with the news and information that you can use with this, something very special for one of our own. March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, just around the corner, is going to be a very special day. In addition to being St. Patrick's Day here in Aroostook County, it has also been declared Pat Good Day in Aroostook County. That's on this special occasion, Pat Good's birthday, but it will recognize not only her 46 now years of service to Aroostook County Action Program, and more specifically to the people of Aroostook County, but it's also part of ACAP's commemoration of 60 years of community action in this country. It was 60 years ago this year that Lyndon Johnson declared the unconditional war on poverty in his State of the Union address, and then in August of that year signed the Economic Act, the Economic Opportunity Act, I should say, that in effect brought to community action agencies across this country the opportunity to help individuals and communities overcome poverty. So that is part of the celebration this year, but really an opportunity for us to honor a terrific individual who's donated her entire professional working career to one employer and one career, which is nearly unheard of these days. So congratulations to Pat Good. And on March 17th, the day that we celebrate the luck of the Irish, we'll also be celebrating Pat Good Day here in Aroostook County. We move on now to share with you about the Transitional Transportation Program. This is a program of the state of Maine. You see some of the details there on your screen. It's available to households of various sizes based upon their gross monthly income, which you can see there on the chart in front of you. But it really allows individuals who are currently working at paid employment and have work-related travel expenses, have a child under the age of 18 at home, and their income is 200% below the federal poverty level before taxes and withholding, to have support in getting to and from their employment, up to $20 per day or 46 cents per mile. You can receive it for up to 18 months. We're encouraging folks in this situation or who have questions about this to contact the Department of Health and Human Services, or you can visit the maine.gov website, the DHHS website, in particular, the Office of Family Independence, and check out applications forms to see if you qualify and to begin to fill out an application. Our coaches here at ACAP are also able to help guide you in the right direction if you need any further assistance with this transitional transportation program. Again, a relatively new program here in the state of Maine, and one that certainly people here in Aroostook County should and can take advantage of. The Aroostook County Housing Development Conference, this is a save the date piece of information, is happening on Friday, March 29th, beginning at 8:30 a.m. and lasting through the afternoon. It's a full day conference that is going to be informative for those interested in developing or financing housing projects. We all know about the housing shortage, not only here in Aroostook County, but across the country, really, and state of Maine, certainly. It's going to be a great place to come and get all the latest information on what's available out there to assist developers, what information and tools that they might need, what programs and services that both the governor's office and Maine Housing offer in terms of connecting folks with resources to begin to think about housing development and new housing development projects here in Aroostook County. ACAP is part of the planning of this conference. It's coordinated by Aroostook Partnership. And again, we'll bring together a wide array of really knowledgeable speakers that are listed there on your screen on this topic. Again, Friday, March 29th from 8:30 to 3:30 at the Northeastland Hotel. Be on the lookout both on social media and traditional media for more information on how to register for this conference. We are also talking about early care and education openings available in our St. John Valley location up in Fort Kent. This is for ages 3 to 5. Our Head Start and preschool programs up there have openings. It's a rare time of year to be able to have those openings, but we certainly are welcoming new children into the program. These are for children who have an income level at or below 100% of poverty guidelines or are receiving TANF, SNAP, or Social Security or are experiencing homelessness. Guarantees automatic entry into the program. For more information, call 764-3721, extension 224, or complete an application on the Early Care and Education page of the ACAP website. A great opportunity for families up in the St. John Valley. Supportive resources for those interested in quitting tobacco are also available through our prevention team here at ACAP. Our prevention team can connect you with resources like the Main Quit link, My Life, My Quit, which is designed more for teenagers and offers support and resources to supporting teens in quitting smoking or vaping, which we all know is a huge concern. ACAP community educators are also available to help connect individuals to additional quitting resources. Please do contact us at 764-3721, or you can email prevention@acap-me.org to see how we can help in that regard. Again, this is supportive information for those looking to quit tobacco. Homebuyer education classes that are held and are hosted by ACAP are scheduled for 2024. There's a couple of in-person offerings, which you really haven't done since before the pandemic at this point. But as a reminder, the HomeWorks Homebuyer Education course is an 8-hour course. It's taught by industry professionals that include lenders, home inspectors, and real estate agents. It's a non-sales oriented environment, even though those folks are in the room providing their expertise and assistance. The classes provide an opportunity to learn about the home buying process in a neutral environment. It's open to the public. Registration is required. For those who qualify, there's an exciting $5,000 toward closing cost benefit that happens if you successfully complete the course. The first course was held on February 17th. It was the in-person course. But there's a class here in March on the 23rd. That one will be held via Zoom on Saturday, March 23rd, beginning at 8 a.m. A second one in April will also be held in Zoom. And then in May, we're going back in person in the Presque Isle area on May 18th. So if you prefer learning that way, we consider you signing up for the May class. And then on Saturday, June 22nd, will be our last Zoom one, at least before the summer season. So if you want more information or to register, call us at 764-3721 or email us at homebuyeredu@acap-me.org. Up next, we want to remind folks that we're in full swing with the tax preparation season, and ACAP is leading the Aroostook Cash Coalition along with New Ventures Maine and other partners this year. Taxes are provided every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, or tax preparation, I should say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Through about the first week of April, we have a limited number of appointments available for this free service. This free service is available to any household that had less than $64,000 in income in 2023. This also is an opportunity to be connected with other resources in our community. So if you would like to have your taxes prepared and or connect with additional information, give us a call. You can email us as well at info@acap-me.org. Any of our receptionists across Aroostook County are able to take the call at 764-3721 and work with you to schedule available appointments again through the first week of April. And we spoke about a housing conference earlier in our news segment, but we want to also let folks who are in the early care and education industry know that there's an Aroostook Early Childhood Conference that's coming to Northern Maine Community College in Presque Isle. ACAP is also part of the coordination of this particular conference, and it's really connected on challenging behaviors, which early care and education professionals will tell you we've seen more and more of since the pandemic. The conference will be held on the 1st of June. That's a Saturday, a day that most early care and education professionals are not working. We wanted to make it convenient for them. 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Northern Maine Community College here in Presque Isle. Again, save the date for that if you're an early childhood professional, and we look forward to getting more information out as it becomes available. And lastly, we're going to be talking about workforce development and again, the Earn While You Learn program here at ACAP. But we wanted to remind folks that we are part of a statewide collaborative, Maine's Workforce Collaborative. that on the regular offers online trainings that include topics noted here on your screen. So if you are looking to increase your employability, get back into the workforce, or continue your professional development, this is a great opportunity to connect with professionals who have expertise in the areas noted on your screen. A link to the registration page can be found on ACAP's workforce development page, or you can certainly contact us here at ACAP, and we'll be happy to connect you with these great opportunities to connect with workshops that you can do right from the comfort of your own home. And finally, just before I get to that, I should say, before I say finally, we just want to also remind folks about the free healthy vitamins that are available. The Vitamin Angels program, in partnership with ACAP, are offering free prenatal vitamins to women of childbearing age, especially those considering potentially getting pregnant in the next year or so. This is a great opportunity to connect with this free opportunity. Our Women, Infant, and Children's program, but others here at the agency are able to connect you with this resource. Call us at 764-3721 or email us at info@acap-me.org to learn more about this special Vitamin Angels program offering. And finally, this is the finally part. If you are in need of any assistance at this time and we haven't noted a resource here that really fits your particular need, please do give us a call here at ACAP at 764-3721. We have navigators who can help try to connect you with the right services, whether those are internal to our agency or are in agencies outside of ACAP that we have knowledge of. Again, this is Navigation Services, 764-3721. And with that, that's the news and information that you can use. I'm so pleased to welcome to our program two guests who are going to talk to us about the Earn While You Learn program. They are familiar faces here at ACAP. Kathy Williams, welcome back to the program. It's great to have you back.
Thanks, Jason.
And Nick Weeks, an ACAP program manager who oversees directly the coaches across the agency here at ACAP who are connecting people with the resources we're going to talk about today. So Nick, welcome to you as well.
Thank you.
All right, so our topic today is the Earn While You Learn program. And so Kathy, why don't you start us out by giving us a little synopsis about what this program is about?
So this is a program that it's funding a stipend. So if anybody is in training, any of our customers that are currently enrolled in our workforce program that are in training can get a stipend. It's to help people who are in school, who aren't working or are working, but not working full time. It's a stipend based on the credit hours or the hours that they're actually in the seat in training. It's a $5 an hour payout. So we just started a CNA class in Caribou, which is 130 hours, I think, to complete the whole thing. So they'll get $5 an hour for those 130 hours, which I think equivalents to $650. It's paid on a weekly basis. They just turn in a sheet, and we pay them weekly. It's really to help them stay in school.
Right now, Nick Weeks, you work with and lead a team that serves people all across Aroostook County. So this program is certainly accessible to people from one end of the county to another. Who else is this? I mean, help us understand who this program is ideal for and who we can best serve.
So anyone involved in an occupational skills training program is who we're looking to target. Anyone who is having difficulty maintaining both their school life and their home life. Obviously, attending school takes a large chunk out of what you're able to do to support your family with employment, things like that. And while it doesn't sound like a whole lot, for some families, that extra money that's coming in weekly could be the difference between them staying in school or feeding their family. So obviously, people are going to choose their family over every time. So this is just one more thing that we're using to try to break down boundaries and make sure that people can remain in the programs they want to provide a better economic future.
So do they have to actually be currently enrolled in a program, an occupational training program, or is this something that they can connect with us about if they're looking to enter? If I know we're kind of in the middle of an academic semester, although there are programs out there that allow sort of a rolling entry, if you will. Does somebody actually have to be enrolled, or do they seek potential guidance from you to look at the entirety of that process?
So it's a short-term grant. It's supposed to end in December. But we do know that the feds like to extend things. And it's only up to $2,000 per participant. So it's not for people that are just enrolled with us currently. So if somebody's looking at taking a short-term training like the truck driving course and it starts in March or April, they certainly want to come to us. First off, they're going to come to us anyway because they're looking for somebody to help them pay for that course. But once they start that course, then they're eligible to get that stipend as well. So as long as they're enrolled in one of our programs, either currently or looking to down the road, they would be eligible for that stipend.
Let's sort of do a refresher with folks. We talked about this not too long ago, Kathy, on a past segment of ACAP today. But the workforce development services that we offer here at ACAP, there are sort of evolving and new programs. This is an evolving and new program, certainly. But there's the basic programs that we've offered that have seen some changes over the years here in Aroostook County for both youth and adults for workforce development services and to help people gain the educational and training skills that they need. Let's just give a recap for folks about what we do in fact offer, because a lot of folks don't always think about the workforce development programs that we offer, but they're a really critical and important piece of our ability to help individuals and households and families become more economically and socially mobile.
So what we look at is, if they're looking at going back to school, helping them with the cost of school, looking at what they're getting for free money, like a Pell Grant and things like that. And if it doesn't cover it, so we can help with tuition. We can help with the cost of the tuition fees and books. We can help with travel expenses. We know that if you're not employed and you're going to school, you still got to have gas in your car. So there's travel expenses that we can pay. There are we can help with childcare if you have children that are in daycare centers. If you need special clothing or tools or something for the occupation that you're going to school for, we can help with that. So there's just a ton of support services that are available. Maybe you're going to school and your car breaks down tomorrow. Well, you don't have the money to fix your car. So we have support services for car repairs. And it's not just short-term training, it's long-term training. It could be that, look, I'm going to school for 2 years to get a degree in auto mechanics. We're going to put you on our rolls, get you enrolled, and try to help you plan how we can get through those whole 2 years, right? Looking at what are you going to need, or trying to think ahead about what are you going to need in that time frame that's going to help you stay in school and get your education.
Nick, you mentioned earlier in your comments about, families obviously choosing family first in terms of their goals and in terms of what they're looking at doing. But a lot of what Kathy really mentioned, those things that are sometimes obstacles for all of us. I mean, a car repair issue, just making sure that things are running smoothly in our families and in our households. Those often become even greater impediments for some of the individuals and families that our agency works with on a daily basis. How important is a program like Earn While You Learn to be able to provide some of those stabilizing resources that households, in particular households that your coaching team are working with on a daily basis?
So I think that there's a saying that it's expensive to be poor. I think that's a very relevant statement to this, because things like a car breaking down can cause you to not make it to work, can cause you to lose your job, that can cause you to not be able to pay rent or your utilities. Your electric shuts off, you're homeless, and it may take you years to dig out from a situation like that. The thing that we always try to make sure that our families know is that it's better to have you enrolled in our program and then not need it, than to have you encounter an emergency where you need help right now. And our program is a long-term coaching program, so we can't immediately enroll someone and help you with an emergency, especially sometimes if it's already happened. That being said, when someone's enrolled in the program, not only can we help with those support services, but we can also, if you're in between jobs at the time or when you're attending school, we can put you on a paid work experience to get those job skills. We have a lot of people who are re-entering the workforce after a recovery from a disability, or staying home to take care of their children, that need those kind of soft skills, or just to experience the kind of job they want to jump into for a role. And we can pay people to get that experience, to get that on the job experience that they can put on their resume, to then continue to apply to places that they're looking to work in a field that they're interested in. So I would say that it's definitely better for our families to be proactive rather than wait till there's an emergency, because a lot of these programs can provide that assistance that's needed when you need it, as long as you're enrolled in the program. But if we get contacted on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, unfortunately, there's only so much that we can do within our programs to help if there's an emergency over the weekend.
And Kathy, we've sort of seen, and you've seen in particular in your years working in workforce development, in particular through ACAP, sort of an ebb and flow in terms of times when we've seen a greater demand for these services and times where we've seen a lesser demand. And I think we can both agree that through much of the pandemic, we saw a lesser demand for those services, but we're recently seeing sort of an uptick, I guess, if you will, in a need for workforce development services. What are you actually seeing, you and the team, boots on the ground?
So we are getting tons of referrals now. Like every day, I think Nick is getting, up to 10 referrals and sending out to the coaches. So people are ready to look, or they're ready to get back in the workforce, or they're ready to go back to school where they weren't during the pandemic, right? So it's just every day people are calling us, and it's not just, it's not just education for some of them. Some of them just need help looking for a job. Some of them get a job and they don't have steel-toed boots. They don't have the clothing that they need to go to that job. So it's not that everybody has to want to go to school, because we all know that everybody's not going to get education. Not everybody wants it. So a lot of people just needing help working, finding the employers that are going to hire them, and getting a resume, or helping them fill out online job applications. And it's just increased. I'd say the last 5 months has the turnaround and the amount of people that are actually reaching out for services.
And Nick, there are obviously finite resources, and we sort of hear in our own messaging out there in the community, the home energy assistance program, in terms of funding availability, because there's been such a demand on the system, has both lowered benefits and lowered availability and connectivity to folks. Are we in a similar situation as we see a greater demand on workforce development services in terms of the finite resource that is available, or are we still obviously out there encouraging folks and seeing what programs and services might fit with them, and encouraging them to in fact reach out and contact us, because there are still resources in this area available?
That's a great question. And that's the benefit of the blending and braiding that we do with our programs with the coaching department in general. So when you come for workforce development with ACAP, you're not just getting put with a workforce development coach. You're getting put with a coach that can help with whole family counseling for your family. We can work on goal setting and how to get yourself on a path that it's going to be easier for you to get and maintain a job, to attend school and be able to get that education. We have additional support funds through other programs. We work with financial management. We help people who are behind on their power bills with up to $500 in incentives through our A16 program for anyone who qualifies for HEAP. So being able to work with a coach through ACAP is nice, because we wrap around all those different services. So instead of getting bounced around to 5 or 6 different programs, you have one person that you work with who you're comfortable with, who has your best interests in mind. And we use a whole family approach to make sure that if we have one person who's looking for a job and it's difficult for them to find it, we're also taking a look at what other family factors are affecting it. So, if you're stressed because you have to provide childcare for your kiddo, and you're planning ahead to get, your degree so that when the kiddo goes to school, you can go back. We're using a whole family approach to look at, well, maybe we could do some childcare during the daytime that would be able to help. Maybe we can help you with childcare while you are job searching, or during this really tough class that you're having a hard time with. We look to eliminate as many barriers as possible to make sure that the people we're working with can be successful.
And Kathy, I know that that's critically important, specifically when it comes to engaging individuals and families with workforce development services, because there's sort of a meter ticking, I guess, if you will, in terms of working to try to ensure the success and the viability of that household. And oftentimes, I know that you've worked with customers and clients over the decades, and sometimes they're just not quite ready for the more intensive engagement that comes with maybe a workforce development experience. And so providing those foundational supports and helping the households gain some stability so that they can actually pursue those employment and educational milestones is something that is really, really critical before you even engage them in some of the workforce development programs that we offer.
Exactly, Jason. Take a look at a person, and they're sitting in your office and they're saying, this is where I want to be and this is what I want to do. And so when you start talking about, childcare and travel and anything, It's making sure that they have all those ducks in a row so that then when they do start, they're not going to be a failure. They're going to succeed because that is what we want, right? We're here to help everybody succeed. And so making sure that that they know where they're going to sleep at night, or that they're going to have income coming in to buy groceries. Making sure that they have all that. They've looked at a budget and planned so that when they start, they're gonna be able to do that and succeed. And we have, there's so many resources that we have right here to help them with that. And that's kind of what our coaches are here for, to make sure. I mean, right, we don't want anybody to fail. We don't, so making sure that we can help them, and if we don't have the services, then we're gonna reach out to who does have them, right? We're gonna steer them in the right direction, and all that's gonna come together in a great plan and assist them with that. Think about this new stipend, earn while you learn stipend, right? So we just had that CNA class start last week, and so a couple of the girls turned their papers in this morning. They're going to get an $80 deposit into their account this week for the 16 hours that they participated in the classroom last week. And they're going to get that for, I think it's a 10-week class. So for 10 weeks, they're going to get that $80, or if, again, depending on how many hours they're actually in class every week. So think about what $80 can do, it can buy milk and bread. If you have children, it can, it can feed them. So it's certainly, it's absolutely a wonderful program.
And Nick, that really makes a difference with the households that you and your coaches are working with, does it not? I mean, $80 and to be able to sort of have that relief of that additional support being there for you while you're taking time to learn and to look at your future profession is really something that's important for the households that you work with on a daily basis.
It is. I can remember years ago that I had a lady who was going to school, and she was getting, it was just that, we reimbursed her for travel because she was coming from Caribou to Presque Isle to go to school every day. And she said, people don't realize, she said, but that check every week allowed me to buy fresh fruit and vegetables for my kids. If it wasn't for that, they wouldn't be eating healthy because it's so expensive to eat healthy. So she said, along with putting gas in my car, it allowed me to buy those things to feed my family. So again, there are so many things here that we can help anybody with. They just need to ask.
And Nick, when Kathy talks, we're talking in particular, and she mentioned the example of the CNA training program that we're supporting individuals through at this particular moment. But when you were talking about coaching, I think it's important that we take a step back and note that our coaches here at ACAP, we always say sort of sit in the passenger seat, that the family's in the driver's seat. So if it's not that the CNA program's not for you, or we're not going to sort of require you to look at what a 4-year degree might be, we're gonna really meet you where we're at. And oftentimes those goals change as the household begins to achieve some of the goals. So something that may seem insurmountable now, over a period of time, and working with the coach seems more and more doable, correct?
Absolutely. And it's those little action steps that really, when you go in to meet with your coach, I mean, we're working with some people that don't have support systems. Working with a coach where you go off and you check off 3 or 4 different things that you work with to get to where you want to be, and then having someone to look at you and say, like, I'm really proud of you this week. Like, this is a lot of work that you did that was really hard. That can be really important. We have other pieces. We're working with people in generational poverty. They may have never learned how to cook before. We have families that they're not giving processed food to their kids because they don't want their kids to have a nutritious meal. Even processed foods because it's what they always ate. So wraparound services, we're working with coaches right now to put a project together where we can teach them how to grocery shop using unit prices, how to plan ahead for meals that are healthy and nutritious, and buy fresh fruits and vegetables, utilize farmers markets, how to actually prepare and cook these meals. Our family engagement piece with our coaches is something that I'm really proud of because we're wrapping around to meet the needs of a large group of people, and needs that are quite frankly like hard to talk about a lot of times. That's why that positive rapport and working with families to build that relationship as a coach is important. And when we add our workforce program to it, it adds an outcomes based program to the way that we're already working with them in coaching. So coaching is enrollment based. We want them to drive the bus. We want them to kind of get to where their goals are, and we're just there to encourage them. But when they're ready, adding that workforce program allows us to be that person that's behind them saying, you can do this. You can, we're doing that little extra push that they need to get there to that outcome that we're looking for in enrollment or in workforce, which is we want them to have a job and to be financially stable and to be working in a career that they love. So it's really nice to be able to have these continuation of services to provide that kind of level of care to people that I don't think you quite frankly get in any other program.
Indeed. What have we missed? What do we want to make sure that we leave people knowing as a result of the conversation that we're having right now? Kathy, let me begin with you.
So I want people to understand that some people say, well, I can't go to ACAP because I make too much money. Or I want everybody to understand that there are services here for everybody. So all you have to do is ask. The worst thing we can say is no, and the best thing we can say is yes, and here's how we can help you. So just making sure that everybody understands that these programs, we have people that have been laid off from their job. We do focus on low income with some of our other programs, but there are services, and maybe we can't provide that service, but we can figure out how or who can provide a service for you. So just that everybody knows that we have services to help them.
Nick, what else?
I just want to point out we're a community action agency. We need the community to assist us with this because the biggest problem we have right now is finding individuals that we're trying to reach. Youth that are out of school is one of the biggest factors of people that we're trying to reach because we want them to be in a place where they're comfortable with going forward to the career they want, whether that be at a 4-year college or a 2-year college or a certification program or something that doesn't even need a degree or a certification. We want to make sure that when guidance counselors see that students are exiting school without a plan for college or furtherance of their career, they're reaching out and giving them our information, that teachers are doing the same, that we're having parents reach out to their kids and their kids' friends that don't seem to have a plan ahead of them. That when we have community agencies that are looking at, oh, well, you're looking for work, maybe the Career Center, well, yeah, call us too, see what we have available. And people who are nervous about not knowing what services we provide and what we can do, just call and ask. Our coaches are here because even if you may not qualify for our workforce program, maybe you do qualify for our family coaching program. And once you get to a place where you're comfortable with that, maybe then we can work forward. If you have substance abuse issues, we have coaches who are trained to help and deal with that and to help you on your journey. We'll work with case management to fill in the gaps that they can't do. We will do whatever we can to make sure that our community is successful. And we just need help from our community to let them know because it's hard to get the word out.
All right. Thank you both very much for joining me to discuss this important topic. Certainly went beyond the Earn While You Learn program, as Nick pointed out, and as Kathy pointed out, it's really all interconnected in terms of the levels of supports that we can provide that make Earn While You Learn a possibility for your household. And again, there's no one size fits all solution to any of this. It really is tailor-made to your circumstances, your situation, and your own goals. And that's what we'll work with you on. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Kathy. Before we leave the two of you and before we leave everyone else, as we do before we leave everyone in the broadcast, we always take you to our highlight snapshots from here in the agency for the last couple of weeks. And our highlight snapshots this week, or this broadcast, take us to our early care and education professionals who on February 16th, Friday, February 16th, participated in a day-long training for team members specifically focused on children with challenging behaviors. We talked to you about part 2 of that, which is open to the public. And to early childhood education professionals everywhere on June 1st. But this was sort of an introductory session to that with Holly Wiltshire from Pyramid Model Consortium. And our team walked away with really a great understanding and a better understanding about what some of the things that are causing some of the challenging behaviors that we're seeing with children, and specifically how to work with those challenging behaviors to be able to support the families that Nick and Kathy just spoke about. That's our photo of the week, or our highlight snapshot for this edition of ACAP Today, and that is this edition of ACAP Today. We'll see you in the second half of March with a brand new ACAP edition. Until then, happy St. Patrick's Day and Pat Good Day on March 17th. Thank you all.